To be honest, I started journaling at a very young age. I don't really remember exactly when, probably when I was 8 or 9. But of course, it was not a conscious decision to journal, so to say. It was just me writing down my thoughts, and whenever I was feeling sad, happy, or depressed. And I remember reading Anne Frank's diary when I was around 10, and I really truly connected to her writing. And it was not the story alone of Holocaust, of loss, of war. I think it was also the writing, her beautiful writing, the way she wrote, the way she expressed herself to herself. It was her diary that she wrote for herself. It was not actually meant to be published, but I'm glad that her father did that. And I guess I was truly inspired by her writing, and so began my journey of journaling since a very young age. And by now I'm sure I have a bag full of journals, old journals, yellow pages, and when I look back, it's really beautiful to see what I was feeling at that point of time in 2006, what I was dealing with as a child. And I mean, it's incredible to look back at your past and to see what you have actually recorded for yourself. And I feel journaling for me has now become a routine. It's therapeutic for me, and I do it every day. Of course, at times I do miss them. I don't do it when I don't want to, but now that it has become a part of my routine, to be honest, I cannot do without journaling every day. As I said that journaling was personally therapeutic for me, I would like to tell you in this video that why journaling is important, why you should start journaling, and probably how you can start your journey towards journaling. So for me, journaling has been a problem solver for me. Let me give you an example. So for example, if I say ice cream, the word ice cream, there will be images that pop up in your head. But if I say chocolate ice cream, the image kind of becomes a little more specific because you start to think of chocolate ice creams. But if I say Baskin Robbins chocolate ice cream, then the picture becomes really specific. So think of journaling as something like that. It's to bring you mental clarity. So when you're writing your thoughts down, you can sort of navigate through what you're actually feeling. I'm not saying that there will be a solution when there will be solutions whenever you start to journal. No, that's not going to happen. But at least you can figure out your problems through your own writings. I often tend to ramble for pages, and after half an hour, after an hour, I realized that, oh God, my problem was so stupid and silly. I was angry because of such a small thing. And I guess that's what journaling does for me. It helps me to navigate through my problems. It is kind of a problem solver for me. At least I know what I need to look into. For me, journaling has become a kind of meditation. Although meditation has its own benefits, I try to journal in the mornings. At least most mornings I try to do it. To be honest, it does not need to be fancy or anything. It does not need to be demanding. It's just you writing your own thoughts. And I think it might be daunting for a lot of people to just sit in silence and with your thoughts. I think that's quite daunting, and that is another challenge. The best part about journaling is that there is no competition. You're writing for yourself, you're writing about your own thoughts and emotions. And to be honest, you just basically need a piece of paper and a pen and nothing else. And you can also write in your laptop and phone, but personally I do not prefer the electronic medium to write to journal. So yeah, you can do that too. The only important part is that you are writing your story unfiltered. You are writing about your emotions, and that's how it matters. And it does not matter if you are writing in a paper or a laptop, although I prefer to write in paper. Journaling has personally helped me to stay sane, especially in 2020 with all its craziness. So whenever I felt lost or directionless, I scribbled down on pages of my diary whether it be night or morning. And because the anxiety that was created in 2020 was immense, and I think journaling helped me immensely. Although it did not solve my problems in minute, but at least it gave me some time to reflect and think. So now that I have told you about the importance of journaling, how can you start journaling? Number 1, get hold of a pen and a piece of paper. So this is a very basic step, but you have to get hold of any medium, either it be physical or electronic, and then you can just start writing. If you are going for a diary or a journal, it does not need to be pretty or very decorative, but if it is, maybe it will entice you to start writing. So get hold of a piece of paper and a pen. So the next step might sound easier, but I am sure it's not very easy to sit with your own thoughts. It's quite daunting for a lot of people because we keep ourselves occupied all the time just to be not with our thoughts. We are on our phones, either we are watching something, either we are talking to someone, but rarely do we sit still and think what we actually want, what is the purpose of life. We don't really give our brain time to think, and even if we are sitting down to think, it's for some purpose. If we are thinking of a project, an assignment, a trip, about our friends, but rarely do we sit down with our thoughts just to reflect. So in order to keep our brain busy, we have fed ourselves this narrative that we need to be busy all the time. It does not necessarily require us the activity to be productive or to be helpful to anyone anyway. We just have to be busy doing something, even if it's worthwhile or not. So I guess because we are in that mental space, journaling can be daunting sometimes, but I guess journaling is also the way to come out of that rut, of that mentality, because you are only with your thoughts and you will be writing them down. So the next thing that I want to talk about is that as human beings, we all need goals and motives in our lives, and they are absolutely important for our progress. For example, a student has academic goals, an entrepreneur might have goals to achieve a certain level of profits, a mother can have a certain goal for her children, for her job, and so on and so forth. Personally speaking, as a student, I do have a certain academic goals, but as a creative person, I have different goals for my creative avenues. So I guess journaling helps me to write and think and reflect about my goals, about my motives in life and the purpose of my life. Because if my life is only about me and not about others, about helping others, then I don't really think that it's a life worthwhile living. So I guess journaling helps me, and I'm sure it will help you as well, to figure out your goals and motives in life, the purpose of your life. So I guess you should just go for it. I hope this video was helpful in some ways or the other. Personally, I love to journal, and that is very important. Journaling is extremely important for my mental health, and nobody has told me that. I have been doing since I was 8 or probably 9, but I have seen the change in me, and to be honest, it is extremely therapeutic for me. So if you have not started, if you don't journal at all, then I would actually suggest you give it a try. It might seem daunting in the beginning, but I am pretty sure that you will get over it. And if you already are into journaling, then great going. And I hope that this brings you mental clarity and mental peace. And I hope that it's not a competition, so I don't really think that you need to put in a lot of effort into journaling, because it's just you and your thoughts. And with that, I would like to tell you thank you for watching till the end, and hope to see you next week.